Hello, dear viewers, and a very warm welcome back to our channel where we delve deep into the fascinating and often intricate world of the British royal family. If you thought one carefully managed tea at Clarence House might melt years of frost, think again. Tonight we're unpacking a story that's both intimate and constitutional, why the same olive branch that His Majesty King Charles III appears ready to extend to Prince Harry may be the very thing Prince William refuses to touch, and what that means for the future of the monarchy you see on your screens. Let's start with the moment that lit up the royal radar. After months of speculation and years of strained distance, the king and his younger son met privately at Clarence House, a setting steeped in Charles's personal history, chosen precisely because it allows a conversation to happen without pageantry, without microphones, and without the glare of the press. Both sides acknowledged that the meeting took place. No details leaked. No quotes traded. No sources close to fanning flames. That silence, in itself, felt like progress. In a family where trust has been repeatedly stress-tested by televised revelations and printed memoirs, the very fact of a quiet, contained reunion suggested the first tentative step onto common ground. But as one door cracked open, another stayed firmly shut. The most arresting takeaway from seasoned royal watchers is this: while the king may be easing toward reconciliation, the Prince of Wales is reportedly not on that journey, not now, and possibly not for a long time. Commentators describe William's stance in blunt terms: he doesn't want anything to do with a rapprochement at this stage. Not out of pettiness, they argue, but out of principle, and that distinction matters. To William, this isn't only a family rift. It's a question of safeguarding the crown he will one day inherit. Pause and consider the context he's carrying. Megxit, the Oprah interview, the Netflix series, the pages of Spare, all of it rewired the private circuitry of the family and the public circuitry of the institution. If your job description is future guarantor of stability, then public ruptures aren't just painful, they're corrosive. The code of the firm, duty, discretion, continuity, can't survive in a permanent crossfire of confidential turned confessional. Through that lens, William's reluctance reads less like a cold shoulder and more like a firewall. He's protecting the institution from more voltage. Now, swing back to the king's point of view. He has lived through his own storms and understands how easily legacies can be defined by wounds that never heal. Recent health concerns sharpen anyone's priorities. When you're not just monarch but father, the instinct to keep the light on for a son is powerful. A private tea costs nothing and can change everything, or at least stop the spiral. The king's approach seems simple: lower the temperature, keep it quiet, try again. If trust is a bank account, he's making small deposits. So why does that feel, to William, like a red line? Because reconciliation without reconstruction is a revolving door. In his eyes, unless the behaviors that broke trust are retired, the televised sit-downs, the public score settling, the weaponized anecdote, then any we're back moment becomes a countdown to the next rupture. He isn't just asking whether apologies are sincere, he's asking whether the operating system has changed. Until he sees proof that private stays private, he's unlikely to rejoin the conversation. There's also the matter of optics. The monarchy trades in symbolism: who stands where, who smiles when, who appears with whom. One photo can look like forgiveness, even when nothing substantive has been repaired. William knows that better than anyone. If a single image is going to reset public memory, he needs more than a cup of tea in a familiar drawing room. He needs assurance that the crown won't be pulled back onto the talk show carousel the next time a contract or a controversy comes calling. The emotional layer is impossible to ignore. Brothers don't fracture over a single argument, they fracture over accumulated moments that harden into stories. It's not difficult to imagine William's private narrative: I kept my head down, I ate my share of criticism, I protected the institution, you set fire to our private life in public and asked me to smile through it. From that vantage point, even a father's open door can feel premature. William isn't punishing, he's pausing, because to him, the cost of being burned again is higher than the cost of waiting. And yet, the king's calculation carries its own wisdom. Families don't heal on timetables set by press cycles. Someone has to be first to stop the standoff, someone has to meet without conditions just to prove it's still possible. That doesn't erase past hurt. It simply acknowledges a truth every family recognizes: the longer silence lasts, the heavier it becomes, and the harder it is to break. In that sense, the king's baby steps aren't naive, they're necessary. Here's the paradox that defines this moment. Both men may be right. The monarch who wants to be a father again is not wrong. The heir who wants to protect the crown is not wrong either. The tension isn't between love and duty, it's between two versions of duty, the duty to family and the duty to the institution. And because the institution is a family business, the lines blur until they're almost impossible to separate. Where does that leave Harry? In a position that demands restraint. If there is a single thread that could tug this knot looser, it's discretion. The quickest way to rebuild atomized trust is to let private meetings stay private, no chapters, no episodes, no side comments at podiums. The king has signaled a willingness to meet on that basis. William, by all credible accounts, won't even enter the room without it. If Harry genuinely wants a path back to functional relationships, the proof won't be in the selfie, it will be in the silence afterward. None of this should obscure Catherine's quiet gravity in the background. The Princess of Wales understands audience perception better than anyone in the family and has shown, again and again, how presence at the right moment can steady a narrative. But this is one problem optics alone can't solve. A curated photo line can suggest unity, it cannot manufacture trust. If reconciliation is ever going to be more than choreography, it will happen off camera, over time, in rooms where nobody's performing. So, what should you watch for next? Not a grand summit, not a staged tableau, just small signs. Fewer barbed lines from friends, a bit less background noise, the appearance of parallel lives that stop colliding in the headlines. In royal diplomacy, nothing is ever fully resolved, it's managed. If the volume drops, even slightly, that's movement. If it spikes, you have your answer. Here's the uncomfortable truth: the monarchy can survive estranged brothers. It cannot survive an infinite loop of public grievance. The king appears ready to test whether a human bridge can still be built. The Prince of Wales appears determined not to step onto it until he's confident it won't collapse underfoot. Between those positions lies the only path that matters now, one paved with fewer statements and more self-control. Tell me in the comments, is William right to hold the line until the rules of engagement change, or should he meet the king where he is and risk trying again now? If you've watched this far, type still family so I know you're one of the few who track substance over spectacle. And if you want more clear-eyed royal analysis without the noise, make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, and tap the bell so you don't miss what comes next.